Good morning and welcome to the John DeVito Show. Today is the day after Christmas. I hope everybody had a wonderful day with their family. I did not record a podcast yesterday, and honestly, I had a phenomenal Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. Now, as some of you may know, we're having some challenges with my dad. My father, who's 83 years old, has advancing Alzheimer's. He's been in the hospital, and it looks like he's nearing the end, unfortunately. So Christmas Eve day was a little bit different because, over the years we've gone to different family parties and family get-togethers and things like that. And because of the last couple of years where we've lost several family members, our plans have changed a little bit. So what we did this year was we went to Christmas Eve at the hospital where my father was. We went and saw him, spent some time with him, exchanging stories and things like that. He obviously couldn't leave, so we ended up leaving as a family, and we went to a Chinese restaurant in Holden, Massachusetts, the Wong Dynasty, if you're familiar with this area. Had a phenomenal meal. Then we came back, hung out at the house a little bit, and then we went to the 10 o'clock Mass in our local church, which was absolutely beautiful, amazing. The whole church was singing. The candles were lit. Father Jim, delivered an impeccable sermon, just beautiful for the second year in a row. As my youngest son said, uh, Father Jim is the GOAT of delivering Christmas services, and he really is. He just nailed it. So Christmas Day, we had a smaller than normal gathering. We had 8 people at our house. In some years, we were pushing close to 20, but we had a really good Christmas. It was low key, opened presents, had a great meal that my wife prepared. Had my sister here, one of my wife's brothers, and just had a beautiful day. So it was amazing. Excuse me, in every way whatsoever. So that being said, I had some time to think yesterday and last night, and I wish you could see my notepad. I've got literally 30 podcast ideas right now that I have to get out. So I apologize if I record a bunch of them. I just have so many ideas that keep flowing in. I just have to keep putting these out. So I hope you're enjoying them. But what I was thinking about last night is, again, where I'm at in my life. I'm 55, almost 56 years old, and I'm thinking about how many mistakes I've made over the years. And I couldn't even keep track. I would need literally a calculator to keep track of the number of mistakes I've made throughout the course of my life. The list is long, but that's not always a bad thing, because I think when you make a lot of mistakes, you're learning through these mistakes. And if you're making mistakes in your life, hopefully you learn to stop doing the things that aren't working and maybe work on the things that are working in your life. So mistakes can be a good thing. They can really help you develop as a person and become a more wise person. So, I talk a lot about some of the things I believe in at my age, and I want, some of the people out there to understand, if you're younger and listening to my podcast, I'm not this all-knowing person. I don't think you ever get to a point in your life where you know everything. Nobody does. But I do believe that over the years, I've developed wisdom just because I've lived longer. I've been here longer than some other people. And, if there's someone out there that's 75 or 80 that listens to my podcast, I'm sure I could learn from you. And I think that's one of the keys that we need to get to in our lives is we need to learn from those who are older than us. And we have to sometimes understand that we don't know it all. I know when people are in their teens and 20s, you get to the point where you're becoming more independent. You think you know everything in life, and you think that people that are older than you sometimes are outdated. They don't understand what you're up against today. And you'd be surprised. I mean, in general, the problems don't change. Technology changes. Some of the speaking points in society change. But in general, the problems that we all face are pretty universal, even from generation to generation. So I think it's beneficial, if you can, to learn as much as you can about what it takes to be happy, what brings true happiness in life. And I think a lot of times you can learn that from senior citizens. Now, this isn't always the case. There are senior citizens that still, in my opinion, are very young souls that haven't figured out the meaning of life yet. So this is not a universal theory, but I think you can find people who are experienced that have learned in their lives what really makes for a happier life and a happier person and a happier existence. And those are the people, if we're lucky enough to have those people in our lives, you seek them out, whether they're in family, whether they're friends, whether they're, people you work with. I think that we can all find mentors and people that we can speak to, whether they're in family or not, that can help us become happier, better people. And I think it's important to find those people. It's important to try to learn from people as opposed to making mistakes that we don't need to make. Because, that old saying, why reinvent the wheel? If someone's already made the mistakes, learn from those people and try not to make the same mistakes over and over and over again. I mean, it's inevitable that it's going to happen sometimes. Excuse me, I got a little bit of a cold today after Christmas. But, I think it's important for us all to learn from these people and try to do the best we can in our lives. So I was able to find something on a site called Seniority, which is kind of cool. And it was an article about 10 life lessons that you must learn from senior citizens. Now, 55, does that make me a senior citizen? I guess I'm more than eligible for an AARP card, so I guess so, even though I absolutely refuse to get an AARP card. I don't want the damn discounts. You can keep them. I don't want them, and I'm not getting one of those cards. But anyway, I guess technically I am up in that area, even though I don't like to live like I am. So, but let's get into the list. I want to talk about some of these. We got a little bit of time here. I'd like to keep this between 15 and 20 minutes. But let's go through this list and talk about it a little bit. See if we can come up with some ideas that might help you in your life. Maybe learn from people that are older than us that have more experience. Okay. So number one, I like this a lot right off the bat. Learn to be youthful. Now, I will say that I've mastered this one. I am a 55-year-old teenager in a lot of ways. My wife would most likely agree with that, not always in a positive way. But, youth is not just a time in life. It's a state of mind. And that's so true. Don't let yourself grow old from the neck up. It's that attitude that when you feel young, it helps you to take calculated risks and make mistakes until you learn from them. Make the most of your youth, but also learn youthfulness. I mean, you look at me and my age. I'm 55 years old. I have a job, my real job. And then I'm doing this podcast. And again, am I, the best podcaster in the world? No. But I'm trying my best. I enjoy doing these. It looks like I've got some loyal listeners that enjoy my show, and I appreciate all of you. I've been in 11 films now, nothing big, just small, behind the scenes roles. But I've been in movies with Leonardo DiCaprio, Jennifer Lawrence, Michael C. Hall, Paul Giamatti, Matt Damon, Casey Affleck, lots of people. And, am I ever going to be a star? No, but I enjoy it. And it makes me feel young. And it's so important, I think, even into your older age, to continue to try new things. And don't be afraid to fail. We all fail. It's okay to fail. It's not okay not to try. So I think as you're getting older, remaining youthful is a good thing. So staying young, wild, and free is a blessing that doesn't last forever, but you are truly young until you are grateful for the small things. And yes, smile. That's why you have your teeth. If you still have them, smile. Even if you don't, smile anyway. But that's a lesson the elderly can teach us. Smile, be happy, remain youthful. Excuse me. Boy, I have more of a cold than I thought. Now I was planning on recording several podcasts today. We'll see if I do that. But number 2 on the list, be flexible. Flexibility and independence in this wild, wild world is worth learning. If you've never stepped out of your own city or town, you may want to talk to someone that's experienced and wise before you do. The last generation that traveled often and lived in different cities and states, they've learned the knack of being independent and flexible and handling big responsibilities, all while having adventures. Traveling not only opens windows to new world, but it also teaches you different perspectives. Now, I've traveled some. I've been around the United States a lot. I've been to Mexico. I've been to Europe. Hopefully, I can remain healthy and I get the chance to travel more in my retirement. But I really would like to travel the world more. And I think it does expand your horizons and gives you a better paradigm to view the world when you see how other places operate. Because I think one of the things that surprised me when I traveled to Europe was I assumed that the United States was this technological marvel. We were so far ahead of everybody else, blah, blah, blah. It's not the case. The European cities, even though building wise they're old, they are very modern in a lot of ways, a lot more modern even than the United States. So I think getting out and traveling, seeing the world is a good thing. It expands your horizons. Get out there and live your life. Be flexible, enjoy yourself, live your life. Number three, this is a big one. Get off that high horse. It doesn't matter to me whether you make minimum wage or you've got $50 million in the bank. No matter how great you think you are, get off the high horse. No one cares that you have $100,000 Mercedes. No one cares that you're driving an expensive BMW. No one cares that you have a giant mansion and $100 million in the bank. Really, what matters is what type of person you are, what type of individual you are. Are you someone that makes a difference in the lives of others and makes a difference in your community? Those are the things that matter. Things that matter are your family, the ones that are close to you, and that is something you can't buy. So, an important habit to learn from seniors is to be kind and humble. Always be kind and humble. The elderly will always remind you that you don't know what others are going through, which is so true. Just observing some older people in their lives can help us empathize with others in various situations. Kindness is more powerful than indifference. It doesn't cost you anything. Um, it has a strong positive impact on your relationships. Simple acts of kindness. You can turn someone's difficult day into a happy one. So go ahead, spread the love. Don't spread hate. We have enough hate in this world if you haven't noticed. Spread the love. That's what it's all about. Number four, grow a funny bone. It's true. Having a sense of humor. You got to laugh at yourself. You got to laugh at things that happen. If you don't, you're going to be just unhappy all the time. Learn to laugh. Learn to have fun. In a world where venting out is very cool, which it's become, especially on social media, bitterness and jealousy compete with each other on social media. And who doesn't like someone who lightens up the mood and makes you laugh hard, right? Seniors often remind you to find humor in life. Really, everything can be humorous if you really think about it. If you don't do this, you're going to be depressed. You're going to lose your mind. If you have a good sense of humor, chances of anxiety and tension can be reduced. You bring people together. You become the life of every party. And even stay calm when you make blunders. Everybody makes blunders. Everyone does stupid things. Oh my God, I've got to be on the leaderboard in life when it comes to doing stupid things. I've done so many of them. But it's okay. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to do stupid things. But learn to laugh and be kind, right? Number five. Now, this is a big one. This, in my opinion, is a big one. And we've been trying to encourage our kids in my house to get here. Make your own decisions. As my kids get older, my oldest is 21, my youngest is almost 15. We have four kids. And we've been telling them that they need to start becoming the pilot of their own lives. They need to start really being the CEO of their own life. And they've started to have big decisions to make about their futures. And we'll coach them. We'll give them advice that we have, but we're telling them that ultimately the decision has to be theirs because this is their life. Excuse me. I'm so sorry. But again, they have to learn how to think about situations, make decisions, figure out what's best for them. And you can't worry about what other people think. Some people are slaves to worrying about what other people think. You can't do that. Worrying about what other people think or say can paralyze your happiness and talent. Seniors often enjoy the peace that comes with freedom from worrying about the perception of others. It's a great example. If you live in the Northeast and you want to wear cowboy boots, wear your darn cowboy boots and wear them with pride. If you want to pursue a career that maybe your parents might not approve of. When it comes down to it, you have to live your life every day. You have to live in your body and you have to be happy with who you are. So you need to find something to do that can hopefully make you a good living, but something that you're going to be happy with. Because if you are miserable every day of your life, it doesn't matter how much money you make, you're going to be miserable. So you've got to find a way to make your own decisions, be your own person, and do that with pride, without regret, and you can't worry about what other people think because honestly, their opinions are irrelevant when it comes down to it. Number six is prioritize. One of the best things you can do to learn from elder people is to stick to your priorities. Everyone around us is so busy with schedules and chores, you don't know which problem to tackle first. In my opinion, you need to figure out what your big rocks are, your big important tasks, and handle those first, and then move on to the others. But life is constantly throwing attention seeking needs at you that can quickly throw you off your balance if you don't know how to prioritize your time. You've got to be organized. You've got to prioritize your time. I like to always write a to do list. I have those things to make sure that I'm handling the big important things that I need to do in my life first, right? So make sure that you prioritize, handle the most important things first, get those things taken care of, and then you work your way on down the list. Fight your fears is number seven. It's huge. As I've said on other podcasts, my favorite quote, I think it's by Mark Twain, is courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the mastery of fear. So again, courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the mastery of fear, and it's so true. Where I think everyone has fear, everyone's afraid, everyone fears failure, but the people that are afraid, that use that fear to succeed, that master their fear, are the ones that are truly successful. So you can't be afraid. If there's something you're afraid of, do it. Do it. And if you continuously do that, I believe that your fears become smaller and your confidence grows, even if it's a little small thing. Like I remember when I was younger, I was afraid of roller coasters. And I got to the point where I'm like, you know what? No matter what roller coaster I see, even if I'm terrified to go on it, I'm going to do it. And I did that. I went on, the Superman roller coaster in Massachusetts. I went to Cedar Point in Ohio. They have the biggest roller coasters in the world, or at least at that time they did. I did the Magnum roller coaster that had a 310-foot drop. I started going on every ride that terrified me, and I found out that I love these rides. They were so much fun. And in the past, I've been afraid. I used to be afraid of flying. I fly a lot now. Anything that I'm afraid of that is controlling me on the inside, I work to beat it because I don't want to live my life being afraid. All right. Number eight, keep a backup plan. I always think of that Will Smith rap, don't have a plan B because it distracts from a plan A. I do agree with that to a point. If you have a dream, you need to go after your dream. You need to believe you can attain that dream, and you need to go after it. That's what the successful people in this world do. If they have something they want to do, they don't listen to the naysayers. They work their backsides off to achieve that dream without listening to anybody that tells them it's not possible. So if you have a dream, you go get it. But you should always have a backup plan. Like if you want to be a professional baseball player, great, go after it. But if you get a chance to go to college and get your degree, get it. Because it's a very difficult thing to do. And even if you're great, and even if you give it your best, you might still not make it. The odds are against you. So having a backup plan is smart, but you can't let that backup plan distract you from your main plan. But it's good to have that backup plan. Number nine, it's about family. We've learned that more than ever over the last several years. We've lost three of our four parents. My father is now ill. Your family is finite. It's not going to be here forever. And you've got to enjoy the people around you while you have them. Your parents will pass. Your children will grow up. And don't think that you have unlimited time. Don't make the mistake of turning your back on the clock because the clock is relentless and it will continue to march forward no matter what plans you're making. So, it is what it is. If you have a family, enjoy it. Spend time with your family because really, You can make all the money in the world, but you can't replace people in your life that is no longer there. So do it. Enjoy your family. It's all about family. It's all about loved ones. It's all about the people that you care about. That's what life's about. The last one, I like this. I don't like the term, but YOLO, you only live once. It's true. You can only live once, as far as we know, unless there's some other plan with reincarnation that we don't know about. As people end their lifelong journey, the lesson elders emphasize often, it's about living your life to the fullest. I've seen that elderly people do this a lot. They go out and they do the things they want to do, they live their lives. And wouldn't it be great if we could embrace that at a younger age, where you have to be responsible, you have to have a job, you have to save money and prepare for retirement, and pay for your kids and save for college education, but take time to enjoy yourself. Live your life. Go out and live it to the fullest, whatever that means to you. And that is a great way, I believe, to live your life as an adult, as a child, as anything. So, anyway, I hope this podcast gives you some ideas. We all need to live life to the fullest. We all need to learn from our elders if we can. So, if you have a person that you can talk to them, ask them about secrets in life, and try to practice those early in your life, because I think it'll make you out to be a happier person. And one of the things I like to think about a lot is it's inevitable. Someday I'm going to be laying on my deathbed. I'm going to have a very short amount of time to live. And I want to have as few regrets as possible when I'm on that stage of my life, when I'm nearing the end. So I keep that in mind a lot, where, I think about regrets and I think about where I'm going to be in my life at that point. And I want to make sure I've done most of the things I want to do in my life so I can move on to the next stage feeling content and feeling happy. So, anyway, I hope you all have a great day. I'm probably going to do a few more podcasts today, so I apologize for the barrage of podcasts, but I hope you enjoy them, and I hope you have a wonderful, slower week of work, hopefully, and a great New Year, which is coming up next weekend. And look forward to my list of ridiculous New Year's resolutions that come up every year. I think New Year's resolutions are stupid, and I plan on doing one of those shows very soon. So anyway, it is what it is. All right, everyone, have a great day, and thank you for tuning in.